Welcome, my name is Gary Jones from switchontolighting.com. I am going to talk to you and give you some tips on outdoor and garden lighting. It is always worth considering the lighting of a garden at the garden design stage wherever possible. The key to garden lighting is to adopt a changeable solution, which allows you to move the position of your lighting as the garden develops and matures. Generally speaking, there are four main types of lighting applications in the garden: feature lighting, ambient lighting, safety and walkway lighting, and security lighting and floodlights. Let's start with feature lighting, used to create interest and highlight key features in the garden, such as trees, statues and structures. This also adds depth and interest to the garden at night. Accent and spotlighting. Position intense and focused light near the base of statues, trees, near a wall, a surface or a trellis. This technique is very compelling but should be used sparingly. Cross lighting. Position a spotlight on either side of an object that you wish to illuminate, whether natural or man-made. The multiple beams of light produce softer shadows and reveal more detail. Shadowing. Place recessed luminaires in front of the object to create shadows on the surface beyond. If you have a tree or statue with a striking profile, or a wall or other surface, shadowing may be a very elegant way to add some drama to your exterior. Silhouetting, which is the opposite of shadowing. This lighting technique is equally as simple. Just position recessed luminaires behind and below the object to create a spectacular silhouette. The beam of light needs a clear passage between the light fitting and the focal point, unless you want a shadowy effect, in which case the opposite is true. Spread lighting. If you've invested in landscaping your gardens with flower beds and low shrubs, you'll want to enhance its nighttime appeal with spread lighting. To do this, position luminaires to illuminate low-lying landscaping and ground cover. Uplighting. If a canopy of branches cover your garden, try this technique. Place recessed luminaires in the ground and angle the lamp upwards. The illuminated branches or architecture will provide an interesting point of visual interest and reflect a soft light onto your garden and patio. Now we come to ambient lighting. Used discreetly will lend atmosphere to your garden, and if outdoor entertaining is high on your agenda, ambient lighting will extend your hours of pleasure derived from your patio or outdoor garden space. With deck and patio lighting, pay particular attention to where people will be seated. The lighting source should be positioned so people are not looking directly into the light, as to avoid glare. Additionally, you might wish to consider heat lamps that radiate heat to a person's body without heating the surrounding atmosphere. These can be positioned on walls around the central entertainment area or under a patio canopy. Safety and walkway lighting. Potentially hazardous steps and paths should be adequately illuminated. As well as enhancing the garden, these also create a safer garden at night for you, your family and guests. Security lighting and floodlights are a valuable addition to home security and can also be used to display house structures and large trees to give a stunning and sometimes dramatic effect. Downlighting is recommended as an effective and affordable method for security lighting. To illuminate large areas, position bright spotlights near the roof of your home. To light a pathway, mount smaller luminaires near the ground. The effective use of a timer switch or security sensor in conjunction with your garden lighting can additionally act as an effective security device. Now let's move on to IP ratings. The lights you choose should be correctly rated for outdoor use. Using electricity in the garden has always required an extra degree of care to ensure your safety in a wet and potentially hazardous area. It is important to understand the IP rating by which your outdoor lights are classified. IP is an abbreviation for ingress protection, and the characters IP are always followed by two numbers. These two numbers refer to the level of protection offered by the light fitting. It is important that you choose light fittings with the correct IP rating according to where they are situated within the garden. And although there are many combinations of IP rating, the three most common ones are as follows. IP44, widely found on splashproof light fittings and usually applies to wall lanterns and coach lights. IP65, this usually refers to a light fitting which is waterproof although not submersible, and you would find these extensively installed all around the garden. For example, walkover lights, spike spots and floodlights. IP68, this refers to a light fitting that is totally submersible. The fitting is protected against long periods of immersion under pressure and is required inside a pond or around a swimming pool. Electrical safety. When installing lighting in the garden, you should always use a circuit breaker or an RCD, which is a residual current device, to protect the circuit. And if you are using mains voltage, you should always use armoured cable, conduit or a cable duct to protect a standard PVC cable or flex from impact from a spade or a fork. All electrical joints should be fully protected using either weatherproof connectors or junction boxes. Low voltage lighting systems tend to be the safest and most cost effective to install. However, mains voltage lighting is usually the most powerful lighting solution. Now I'll give you some tips and tricks. Always conceal the light source either with a glare guard on the luminaire or by tucking it away behind a shrub, large branch, wall or rock. Ideally, you will be unable to see where the light originates from. Avoid installing luminaires in the undergrowth of low shrubs or tall grasses. The beam of light needs unimpeded passage from the fixture to the focal point, so that there are no distracting spots or reflected light, unless of course you want a shadowy effect. Don't overlight. Less is more. Extremely bright illumination often has a garish, theatrical look, which can ruin the atmosphere of any garden. Experiment with backlighting. Lighted trees in the background of a forested area create silhouettes in the foreground. An uplighted hedge behind a shrub or a tree will do the same. Try using a portable lamp, and this can help you plan your lighting design. Don't illuminate every surface. Shadows work to define lighted areas. Create a different look for your property at night than it has during the day. The night view will often be more dramatic than the day view. And finally, take advantage of the many beam angles, frosted lenses and mounts available, so that your outdoor luminaires suit your situation. Thank you for listening. My name is Gary Jones from switchontolighting.com. For a free email transcript of this video, go to www.switchontolighting.com/guides.